All right, welcome back to Epic Sports Radio. My name is Glenn Spillman, and I have a new guest to my left, Blake the Beast McKernan, who just won his pro debut on Friday night. We got Keto still chilling with us for a little bit, and off to my far right, we have Jason Thomas. Say hello, Jason.
Hello.
Hello. So, Blake, man, he won his pro debut. I was there. I was ringside. It was an awesome fight, brother. It was good. Friday night, DoubleTree Hotel here in Sacktown, and he fought Derek Williams out of Turlock, California. So let me ask you this. It's kind of is this for Blake? All right, we got water. Hey, we want to give a shout out Red Bull here, free advertising for you, Red Bull. We expect a case of sugar-free Red Bull for Blake, myself. Keto might want some, and so dumb question, but I'm going to ask anyway. Will March 25th forever be burned in your mind, and why?
Hey man, yeah, March 25th, being a pro debut, that'll always be a memorable fight and a memorable experience, being that it was my pro debut. For me though, I'm going to take every fight as something to learn from it, and I think every fight is going to embed something new into me and to create a different fighter that I need to become a world champion. And mark my words, man, that's just the very first fight of a lot to come. So, I want to work towards a world title, man, and that's what we're going to aim for.
That is awesome, man. And the McKernan movement, it has been going on for a while, and I know we've talked about that last time you were on the show, and you talk about all the time on social media. Well, speaking of social media, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you on social media, follow you in anything.
Okay, yeah, man. So on Facebook, it's Blake McKernan, last name McKernan, or you can follow me on my Instagram, which is Blake the Beast McKernan.
All right, so you know what? I mean, you know Keto, obviously, and Keto, you got any questions for Blake?
Yeah, but what do you got? You said you were telling me earlier some of the fights you're fighting every month for this year. How many fights you got lined up?
As it sits right now, I want to try to stay busy and fight every 4 to 6 weeks.
Nice.
So right now we're aiming to fight April 29th in LA, May 21st, possibly in Oregon, and then June 11th in Oakland, and then hopefully back here in Sacramento in July.
Nice. And is it one of those things that you guys feel that the more you guys just keep busy, you stay busy, stay ready, and that there's no lulls or anything? It's just we're just moving.
Yeah, man. I'm just trying to stay busy. Honestly, man, I'm 28 years old. I'm in the best shape of my life right now. I got to keep on kind of riding this train until it gets ahead of me, man. And I'm in the best shape, so why not keep on fighting if I'm able to?
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's it, man. Best shape. I mean, keep it going, man, while you can, brother, and create as much damage during the movement as you can with the against these fighters. But I was back to you were in the hallway. You were just getting ready, and you were getting ready. I believe it was probably starting in the locker room and coming down the hallway and getting ready to come through those doors. Beast mode was slowly coming. When you walked and you were coming to the ring and you were in the beast mode, what was going through your mind as you ducked under those ropes and got into the ring? Was that when beast mode hit its apex?
And then when I got into that ring, that tunnel vision the whole time walking to the ring, as soon as I stepped through that ropes, it was game time, baby. Yeah. I stepped in that ring. I didn't care if it was my ring, if you were standing in front of me. So walking into my pro debut,
of the fight on Epic News. If you want to watch the fight, go check it out. Check the interview. And Jason, you were filming the whole thing. So kind of give us your feeling and tell Blake and what you guys do. And there's a lot of pictures on social media. I saw you guys, during the prayer after the win. We talked last week. We brought in some spirituality, and I like that. So kind of tell us.
For me, it kind of fitness, former strength coach. So I met Blake about 5-6 years ago when he was an amateur, and that he did some training with me that he revealed, Jason, I'm still an amateur. So I did. So fast forward to his fight this last Friday, I got a call about Monday. I'm also a motivational coach, so I got a call. Hey, I'd like for you to lead the prayer prior to the fight, and also do motivate, do what you do. So it brought me to the event that evening, and it was just awesome to see Blake perform at the level he did. He's a cruiser. When someone backs out, you have the option by taking a head. You were there. It was probably the night.
Yeah, no buzz.
So I stand corrected.
Yes.
So just him being able to introduce him to the world as a performing at the level he did, it was awesome. You alluded about the spiritual part. God is at the core of my life. So for us, not only did he have his training and all that intact, but he made a decision in his life that in this moment right now, I need to make sure that not only am I physically intact, but I need my spirit mind on the line as well.
Right.
So we got the W, and that's why I'm here. And also just want to announce to everyone I am re-entering professional sports as a motivational coach. So I will be acting as that will be my role with Team McKernan throughout the radio from there.
That's awesome, man. That's amazing. Let me ask you another question. So, the pro debut, again, when you go on pro debut fight, different than any of your other fights that you had before?
Yeah, man. So moving from an amateur into the pro ranks, man, it's a dramatic. It's like until you climb into the ring, but the pressure, your nerves, the punching power, everything about a pro fight is completely different and structured differently than how you fight as an amateur. When you fight as an amateur, the point system is completely different. You got guys that are just coming out there and just throwing as many punches as they can because that's how you score points in the amateurs. When you get to the pro level, which I felt I performed very well, you're out there, you're really picking your shots. You're trying to set up certain shots and find your openings. And I felt that's what I did in my pro debut. But it was a smooth transition, even though it was a tough transition. I felt, I took it great. And, the punching power was a really thing that kind of I never felt like I was hurt, but I never got used to it.
Right.
So, just getting in there and now understanding what the punches feel like. Now, mentally going into my next fight, I'm going to know what to expect.
Right. So, Kid, I know we got you probably for another 10, 15 minutes or so. So you just jump in and ask as many questions as you want, brother.
Yeah, definitely. I was going to ask you, Blake, what when you start going into like your training camps, especially going to this first pro debut, did you have like a different kind of mentality going into this new camp? Was it like a different kind of, all right, I got to amp everything up? Like, where was your mind at, like, leading into this whole camp for it?
Mentally, my mind was just focused on winning.
Yeah.
And, I'm a perfectionist, man, and I've always been a hard trainer. Even as an amateur, I was training longer hours than you would probably expect most amateurs to train. Getting ready for this pro debut, 3 weeks out from the fight, I was training 7 days a week. And I just, in my mind, I never want to be out-conditioned or out-worked or outdone. So I made sure that I was in tip-top shape, so I wouldn't be, looking like I was, getting tired at the end of each round, and that my power was there as the rounds persisted, man. So, I definitely jumped my training up big time, and really, it just mentally, I was a lot more focused than I'd ever, really been before.
Nice. Yeah, I'd also seen on social media you had did some sparring rounds with one of my old training partners, DJ Robertson. So Roberson. So I thought that was really good to kind of get out and kind of get other looks and stuff like that, because he makes a good long opponent and stuff, a different look. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
And that was one thing, man, to give a shout out to everybody I sparred with. Getting ready for this fight, I trained with some light heavyweights, some cruiserweights, and some heavyweights. I trained Ryan Borland, who was actually the main event on the card. Me and him did a lot of work together. Give a shout out to him. He's a great up-and-coming fighter. DJ, a lot of other heavyweights over there at Uriah's Gym, Ultimate Fitness. So it was really good to see how many people that when I had put out messages on Facebook like, hey, I need some work, who's ready to give me some rounds? Hey man, everybody was there, and so many people committed to helping me get ready for this fight. So with that, I'm thankful, man, because the worst thing is here in the Sacramento area, it's hard to get cruiserweights or heavyweights to give you enough rounds. And I remember one time, probably like a week and a half before the fight, I went over to Ultimate Fitness, and we had put in 7 or 8 rounds, and every 2 rounds I was getting a new heavyweight. I definitely pushed myself. I felt I was very well conditioned, and we're just going to keep on training that way as we move forward.
Definitely. Let me ask you this. So when you said you started out as an amateur, how many amateur fights did you have?
I had 11 amateur fights.
11. So let me ask you this: when you first got introduced to boxing, when was that?
I first started boxing when I was 10 years old, man.
And was it at that point you decided that, man, this is what I want to do forever? Or was it after your first amateur? What was the point of you're like, man, I can't do anything else. This is what I have to do.
Hey man, what's crazy is my whole life, ever since I was a little kid, I never even knew what weight division I was going to be fighting in. But I grew up watching Roy Jones Jr., Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson, some of the greatest fighters still today. And I always knew, to myself, I was always telling myself, hey man, I want to be a heavyweight world champion. I'm a little kid, 12, 13, 14 years old. But I used to always, man, I used to always be a heavyweight champion when I get a sport. Ever since I was a kid, I've always been a little for a fighter my entire life. It's definitely been a good way, gotten older, to kind of be a stress reliever to keep me out. I'm always, what better way to do it than to get paid, man, than to get arrested.
Very good. So going into, I love the mentality you're talking about, how your championship mentality was bringing Jason into the picture, something that you felt kind of step your game up, because you can train. I know one thing as a fighter, you can train, but until you get your mind right, until you have your life settled, you can't move forward until you can believe and see it and stuff. So is that what kind of Jason brought to the table? One
thing about Jason is, like he said, we met about 5 or 6 years ago. I was actually one of the main sparring partners for Otis. A lot of times when we'd be getting ready for fights, and training with somebody that's kind of displayed and competed at that high of a level, it taught me a lot. So during that time, training with Otis, sparring with Otis, and Jason was always around, I always loved this guy's energy. He always had great energy about him. As you can see, man, no matter where he goes, he brings that energy. And we just hit it off, man. We've, kept this friendship over the years. And what's crazy, man, is I was, going through some unexpected life problems before this fight, man. And people always say it's some of the toughest battles that you fight that people, and getting ready to, Blake, you need to. And we just started talking, man, and he was very happy to hear.
Having in his corner to be able to allow his mind to be focused on what the task is at hand, seeing in life and a challenge, perform under pressure.
Right.
And you pressure. Blake has not looking at so much his career on what he's going to do in it. So he has a future outside.
And I teach a little bit of life. You're somewhat similar, that you're only going to put all of yourself.
And this is from the standpoint of a teacher is only inspired by how much the student is willing to learn.
Exactly.
Cannot pour into you what you don't want. You are like a basket with holes. An exchange of energy. When a teacher sees an open and receptive, he's he's willing to, and that's when that combination becomes not only that, but see, this is the big boys class.
Yeah.
You go with the little boys class.
All right, man.
He's open.
That's awesome. You just heard a good sermon. I think we need to.
This is what I do. I go
Amen, brother.
But just to clarify, what was specifically about Blake that you saw in him that made you like, man, this I got to be in this guy's life? What is it that keeps you on?
It's something that just happened. I feel that when you're heading in a certain, to answer the question, I've known Blake for over the last 6 years, and I've seen his career. It wasn't by coincidence that he called me prior to his pro debut. I used to be the strength coach to a guy that was a light heavyweight champion of the world that he sparred against. So it's just natural that, in the moment, the reason why we connected was bigger than just fighting, was more of a man-to-man. It was getting his mind right. Yeah. So being able to feed that, it just opened the door for anything else. When someone's open like that and they need something, that's just something that's in my heart, how I was hardwired. I'm going to go all the way for you. So when he called and said, Jay, I need you, and then I've already seen his background, I've seen his work ethic, we've been on Facebook, I was like, whatever I can do to make him succeed, I will. Because in him becoming better, I become better.
Yeah.
We all become better. That's why we're all sitting here on this panel.
Right. So is the biggest thing has taught you in the years that and how motivation has given you?
Really, man, it's you can be as strong as you want physically, but mentally, if your mind ain't, you are never going to go as far as you could. And being around Jason, you see this positive energy. He just reflects, man. Every time that I'm with this guy, he really has my mind working and I'm thinking. And that's one of the tools that I love when I have his presence, because I'm always thinking about what I'm doing in the very moment. What am I going to do after this moment? And just having him around and having that great energy, it really brings out something different inside of yourself. That it's like being with a group of friends. If you go out with a group of friends and you have that one friend that's like a Debbie Downer and kills the whole group, you know what I'm saying? But you just have that one person like Jason, being the charismatic person that he is, he just fills a room with energy, and it gets me to a position to where I can perform at the highest level. And he's a great man. He's a great man of God, and I'm fortunate to have such a great friend like him in my life, man. And we're going to keep on moving forward. He is part of Team McKernan, so best believe every single fight that we have, he will be there.
Right on. And I tell you what, man, this guy dresses to the T. He looks like he just stepped off the page of the GQ, man. I mean, this guy, you need to teach me some fashion.
Glenn, I'm going to quick story. I was 25 years old, went in for an interview to the president of the company. I was in a hurry that day, hence I was 25 years old. I had a Kenneth Cole shirt on that was wrinkled because I didn't have enough time to iron it. He gave me the job on the spot that afternoon after the interview, and he told me, you need to make sure that every day you dress like you're going to see the President of the United States. Make sure you iron your shirt next time. Get out of here.
Wow. That is awesome.
25 years old. I'm 38 now, so stuck with me.
13 years. All right, Keto, I know you got to get going, man. Do you have one last question for Blake before we leave?
I do. I was gonna ask the last thing I was gonna say is when you your work ethic and stuff and how everything goes. How do you juggle your personal life, and if so, do you have like a regular job, or is it you just train all the time, or are you able to juggle? I know as an amateur you probably weren't just fighting, and that was it. Like, what's your job and what do you do when you're not fighting? Kind of what's your thing?
So really, man, like we kind of covered this last time. I know you weren't here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Monday through Friday, man, I got a regular 9-to-5 job. As soon as I get off work, man, I head straight to get my son from daycare, go straight to the gym. I put in work at the gym 2.5 hours. Then I go to training and go to boxing for 3 hours. I do that Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I'm still training. Dude, I'm so addicted to training. If I'm not training, I'm working. And if I'm not doing either one of those two things, I'm with my son. Everything else don't matter right now. Me fulfilling this dream and putting in all the time and effort that I need to become a champion, that's what I'm going to do, man. I eat, sleep, and breathe boxing, and that's what it's got to take for me to become a world champion.
Beautiful, man. It's beautiful. It's admirable, to say the least.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. So you know what, guys? We're going to take a quick break. Keto needs to get out of here. He needs to get home with his kids. Awesome stuff. We got all single fathers here on this trip. You probably.
Yeah.
You're not a single. Yeah, so we're going to be back in 2 minutes, 2 seconds. We are Epic Sports Radio, Bun Sports Pub and Grub, Roseville, California. We'll be right back.